If you're new to buying cattle, here's a checklist of things you're gonna wanna do or not do that first day at the sale barn. So when you go get your number, they're gonna ask you if you want vet work, and the answer is yes. You're gonna wanna get a 5-way, which is a respiratory shot, and you're gonna wanna get an 8-way, which is a clostridial shot, formerly known as a blackleg. That 8-way clostridial will have tetanus in it. So I don't recommend buying a bull if it's one of your first trips out, but if you end up buying a bull and you want it banded, you've got to have tetanus. Now, it costs about $55 at our local sale barn to band a bull. It's well worth it. You know, if you don't have a bander and you don't have facilities, down the road as you buy more and more cattle, owning a bander will be of more value, but just go ahead and know that's what it's going to cost you. And right now, the price difference between bulls and steers isn't that great. You're better off just buying a steer. And really, if you're just going to do a backyard beef, you're better off buying kind of a fleshy old heifer. They're just going to be easier to finish than a steer. Steers grow longer, they grow bigger, they take a little more feed. If the calf is bawling, looks stressed out, and you don't have facilities or medicine, go ahead and have the vet at the sale barn give it an antibiotic shot. Right? I mean, if you can't catch the thing in 4 days when it's sick, you've got problems. If it has horns and you're going to resell it, you better just pay to get it dehorned. If you're just going to do a locker beef, I wouldn't worry about the horns unless you've got a hay bunk or something with very narrow stanchions. Wormer, if you're only buying 1 or 2 head, just go ahead and pay the sale barn to worm. It's not cheap. If you have a few more than that, go ahead, keep that money and buy a safeguard block. The nice thing about a safeguard worm block is you can stick it out for 3 days. You know, it comes in a nice carton. Take the lid off the carton, let them lick on there for 3 days. Then you pull it back and you can put it in the shop and you can use it 4 or 6 months later or even next year. So a safeguard block is good for up to about 15 head of cattle. Some things you don't want to do. Do not let that cow off the trailer into a pasture by itself. Do not let that cow off a trailer facing into the sunshine. Do not let that cow off a trailer into a pasture in the dark. If those are your options, leave the thing at the sale barn overnight, let it settle down in a pen there, have that thing delivered in the daylight. Now, when I deliver 1 or 2 cows to a new pasture, I like to back up all the way to the longest fence on the place. So I'm backing up perpendicular to that long fence, and I want to open my gate to the longest direction that calf can run. And I want to put 1 or 2 people there, because when you open that gate, that cow is going to take off running like a shot. And whether it's electric fence or not, it'll run right through the son of a bitch. So back up 5 or 6 feet away, open that door so when it comes out of the trailer, it has to make a 90-degree turn as it gets off the trailer. So now it makes that turn as it exits the trailer and it's running lengthwise with the fence. And try to have somebody standing down at the other end, at that first corner, so as it runs parallel to that fence, as it gets to that corner, somebody's standing there. Not yelling and screaming, but just making sure there's a presence. But if you don't have a pen strong enough to hold that cow, whether you're going to butcher it or whether you need to doctor it, if you don't have a pen big enough and strong enough and sturdy enough to hold that cow, you really have no business being at the sale barn buying something. Doesn't take much, you know, some pallet board, some IBC totes. I mean, it's got to be big enough, right? You got to have a 10 by 30 pen so that it doesn't launch, and it's got to, it's got to be 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall. Ideal it's in a barn. Otherwise, leave it on the trailer overnight or leave it at the sale barn. Let it get hungry, let it get out, find the water trough in a pen with some hay, then let it out the next day. Again, have somebody standing there at those corners and just kind of keeping it from running. The reason I say this is I just bought a heifer last week that went on a tour of Stanwood, Washington for about 2 or 3 days, and the owner was new. They let it out, ran through the fence. They put a deal on Facebook, free cow. You catch it, it's yours. Some guy ran this cow to the ground and brought it back to the sale barn, and he made $1,000, and the first owner lost $1,500. So there you go, just a little checklist of do's and don'ts when you buy that cow or heifer for the first time. God bless.